And I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Who's Hitting Gems podcast. I'm your host, David Jones, along with the special guest tonight, Mr. Yusef Fitzgerald. I want to welcome everybody as usual. We've been out of pocket for the past couple of weeks because we've been busy hosting the JUCO Jamboree, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight as we recap a very successful Mississippi JUCO Jamboree held in my partner's hometown of Jackson, Mississippi. Like to call Yusef the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi. And man, he showed out. And I want to thank, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, the city of Jackson. Man, y'all came, y'all showed out. Y'all definitely showed out. And man, we couldn't thank y'all enough for the support. Both of our phones have been ringing like crazy. Coaches, the teams that want to get into this event next year. We're going to make it bigger and better. We're here to talk about a very successful event. And one of the craziest compliments we got was I got a text saying, man, this event gave an EYBL feel. And Yusef, you know, that's a compliment among compliments right there, brother.
Right, man. And like, Dave, I want to say thank you to you first, man, for coming in with us on doing this thing, man. With us partnering together, it made it such a formidable staff that, we were able to put this together, man, with no hitches, man. People don't know how hard it was, man, leading up to it and the things we had to do to just have this thing and for it to go off with no problems, man. And it was tremendous and humongous for the city, especially for the kids in the community, man, because it's the first of its kind in Mississippi. This is the first ever Mississippi JUCO Jamboree where I got so many kids that play on our local JUCO teams that's all they said was it felt so good to play at home. It felt so good to play in front of my family, and it be that family atmosphere that they're used to. Because a lot of these kids grew up playing AAU ball in that gym, pickup ball in that gym. So this was something tremendous for them in college, man, to be able to come back home and play. Because a lot of times these kids get on college teams and they never make it back home to see their family and play in front of their family. This is huge, man.
Oh, man. And just to capitalize on what you said, there was a young man that played for Cleveland State Community College, and they're in Tennessee. They're in Cleveland, Tennessee, which is just north of Chattanooga. And he got a chance to come home, and, man, his family filled that thing out, to your point of what you said, man. And, man, it was just such a big event. I mean, and then you saw, we talked about this the other day, there's some really good basketball in Jackson that a lot of people don't know about. And, I just went off the top of my head when I started talking about Monte Ellis, Othello Harrington, and a host of others. And you schooled me to a lot more that I didn't even know. And, man, some of those guys were in there they were in there this past weekend. And what were they saying? Man, if we would have had this a couple years ago, right?
They would look, these kids, they've been thirsty for this type of event. When I was coaching at Hines, this is what I was talking about. I asked a couple of my friends to actually put the event on, and I was going to help them on the behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And of course, me working for Hines, I couldn't get involved too much, and they just wouldn't do it. And so when I left Hines, man, and it was one of my, like I was telling you, I've been planning these things for like 13 years when I left IMG, of just a showcase series of tournaments and events. And this was one of them because we are the most under-recruited state in the nation. It's hands down. But when you look up, you'll find so many Mississippi kids on rosters throughout the country. He's like, man, that kid can play. Where is he from? Mississippi. Oh, that kid can play. Where is he from? Mississippi. You go look at the NBA. At one point in time, we were number one in the nation per capita with guys in the NBA because of how small we are. But we had so many they were popping out. I just left the practice today. I took our postgrad over. Coach Carr and I took the postgrad over to Jackson State for practice. Well, Jackson State staff consists of Mo Williams, that played in the NBA. He's the head coach. Mm-hmm. Trey Johnson played in the NBA. He's the assistant coach. Tyler Adams went to Georgetown, committed to Duke out of high school. Went to Georgetown, ended up with a heart murmur, couldn't play, but now he's coaching Division I ball right here in the city, and he's from Brandon, which is 20 minutes outside the city. So you're talking about guys that have come through here, man, and I can keep naming them: James Hollywood Robinson, your Lindsey
That's my
Hunters,
guy.
your Ryan Lothridges, and your it's just so many that got a chance. And I can go back to Audie Norris and all the older guys before me, and before our time, because Lindsey is before my time, and then those guys are before his time. But you got a history of guys out of Mississippi that have made it to that NBA and been successful. So again, man, it's tremendous to bring an event like this during this time, because you just don't know where your career is going after junior college. And it's great to be able to come back and play in front of your fans, your friends, your family, your high school coaches, your AAU coaches. We had AAU coaches in there. We had high school coaches in there. We had parents. It was one family I saw. They brought everybody: grandma, auntie, uncle, the mom, the dad. Everybody was there, and their son played for Colin. We had folks that were tuned in on Baller TV. That's all they could say was like, "Man, I can't believe that we didn't have this before. We're so glad you did it, and we can't wait till next year."
Yeah, and man, let me ask you, and I gotta refer to you on this Mississippi basketball. Why do you think it's been that way for so long? Because any of the basketball heads know, from a national perspective, Mississippi JUCO is some of the best JUCO basketball in the country.
Because we're so spread out. So the locations of the junior colleges is, if you're a college coach and you're trying to catch multiple schools, it's rare that you can do it in the same day, because we're so far away from each other on a distance. So when you come down here, you only gonna go, like most Division I coaches, they're gonna go holler at their friends. They're gonna go see their partners who are the coaches and the kids that they might know about. They're not going anywhere else. When I was at Hines, my first 2 years, nobody was talking about coming down there. And then that third and fourth year, they came down there, but they would come see me. And let's say they wanted to go see Pearl River, they couldn't do Hines and Pearl River in the same night. It's impossible. So that's why it was so important to get all of these teams up under one roof. So now when the college coaches come in there, you say, hey, you know what? We're going to come in there, man. We're going to see them play games. Because we got the JUCO trail, yes, we do, but it's nothing like, actually playing a game style match, against another JUCO that might be from out of state, instead of playing the same ones that you play throughout the season. And I think that was the key for this event. This event was key to matchups we put together. Three Rivers came down. They were tremendous. But we matched them up against three of the top JUCOs in the state. And if, I have to go back and look at the actual records, but I'm not sure how many games Three Rivers got up on, but they appreciated the competition because it gave them an idea of where they were. And that was the statement. One of the statements they made was, man, we came down here, Mississippi basketball is pretty good. And it's just that way. It's just, see, our region also, we're a 1B league with 15 teams in the state. And then you got to remember, Dave, in our region, it's 5 other Louisiana teams that's also in our region, and only one team goes. I can recall 1 year, one of my last 3 years at Hines, I remember we were like second in the conference. I had the best record in the history of Hines. We made it to the Final Four, but we got hurt right before the Final Four game. One of my main key contributors broke his wrist the game before. And so it's like, okay, we get to the semifinals, we're rolling, but we don't make it because of that. But only the top team, the championship team of the region, is going. But there's plenty of other teams that would go out there and compete. The year before that, I went down to Eastern Florida, Dave, and we played Eastern Florida, and we played Broward County over at Florida Southwestern. And I love Jeremy Schumann. Jeremy Schumann's my guy. Schumann's my guy. But we played Schumann, we beat him pretty good. And no knock on Schumann. It was just that day we were better that day. If Schumann plays me again, who knows how to go. But it was a realization of, this is Mississippi basketball. Yes, we play hard, we're super athletic, and we got some guys that can go. It's just we're spread out all over the place. When you look up, you say, man, why not? Why not Mississippi? Well, we cleared up that why not. Come to Mississippi. They came this weekend, man. They came out.
And we've been talking ever since Sunday. I mean, on my way back to Atlanta, I'm getting calls, I'm getting texts, I'm getting DMs still right now. Like, hey man, I saw what it was. I see social media was buzzing, and we talked about that Saturday night going into Sunday. The buzz on social media, people, calling us and texting us and DMing us, and I can proudly say this thing is here and we're here to stay, man. You know what I mean? Can you hear me?
Yeah, and man, it's not going. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Hey, can you hear me? I hit a little rough patch, man.
Yes,
I'm driving. Sorry about that, man. I hit a little rough patch. I'm trying to get out this little rough. You can hear me now? And like the
Yeah,
buzz, Dave, the buzz, and this is what I tell people, Dave. Like the buzz comes from the kids. Like when the kids knew they were playing here, they called all their people. When it was on the JUCO schedule, they called all their people. So then what ended up happening after that is, our connections across the country, you had all these other JUCO jamborees that go on, but then when people started seeing like the pictures online and the video online and the stuff we're posting and it went off without, people are like, man, we just want to go to a quality event. And that's what we're going to always provide. It's going to be it's going to be first class. We're going to run it the right way. We're going to be respectful to all, the coaches, the referees, the parents, the players. We're going to be respectful to everybody. We make sure we take care of the client. That's the biggest thing. It's like, hey, man, we're making sure we take care of the client for our event. You know what I mean? So, like, next year when you're talking about us doing it again, you're talking about a humongous event to where we'll have more teams. We might even need more space, Dave. And be honest, those 5 courts might not be enough. But, I mean, it's just, every event that I've ever run, Dave, has been first class. When I did the post-grad jamboree last year, not jamboree, the post-grad tournament last year, you came out, it was 14 teams, but it ran first class. Yeah. When I was at IMG, when I did the Beach Blast at IMG that they're still running right now, it was first class. Everywhere I've gone and I've done an event, Dave, it's never been done any other way. And like I say, with you and Coach Carr, and I came and Baller TV share, and then the young lady that came with you, Yolanda. I can't think of her name.
Yolanda.
Exactly. Yolanda, and then Tanisha, Ms. Andrews that worked for us too. And, I mean, it's tremendous. Jeff gave us a spot, and we made it work, man. And it's going to be the same way next year, even better though.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the buzz was tremendous, and man, we got about 14 minutes. I know you got your schedules tight. Man, let's talk about some of the kids that came and made a name for themselves at the Mississippi JUCO, man. One of the big ones I'll talk about is the young man from Terra Prep, the point guard. Man, he came, man, and my gosh, I'm looking at that young man like he had a JUCO D2 offer, and from there, man, he got like 4 or 5 D1s on him now. And, that was an exposure piece that, we wanted to continue to, talk about, is have, those type of kids that were getting that type of exposure. I know you were cut out for a minute, and I was just basically talking about the young man from Terra Prep that came up in here and made a name for himself, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, he did, man. Terra Prep, and then there was a guy from Colin, Devin Carter, man. It was a Division I transfer. Had the 10 threes in one game. Had 22 points, 10 minutes. Finished with 36 in a jamboree. You know what I mean?
That was crazy.
I from Prep Red picked up interest from Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. They called me the day after. Mark Drone from Southwest received an offer from Texas State. So you're talking about guys, in the same breath that took advantage of this opportunity and was able to garner scholarship offers and interest from Division I schools just from our event alone.
Yeah, see, one of our faithful listeners, Coach Little, Carl Little, that's my guy, man. He said, "What's up, Steph?"
What's up, Carl? Man, that's my dude, bro.
Y'all, yeah, good dude, real good dude, man. I'm going to support his military event, man, in a couple days. It's going to be in Fort Benning here in Georgia. So that's one of the new lanes that I stepped into, because some of these military kids that go into the military out of high school, their eligibility freezes. And Carl put me on to this, and I went to his event in San Antonio, and man, there's some hoopers in the military, man. Hoopers.
Yes, sir. I was in the military for a little while. I was in the Coast Guard, and I told somebody when I first got to my first duty station in New Orleans, There was a redhead dude that had played at, I think that boy played at like George Washington. And we were playing in the man, and I just remember getting out there like, wait a minute, dude, you can hoop. Like, touching the ball, and it was more like, man, I chose to come to the military instead. So, I need to go out there with you, man, and see my guy Carl, man. I ain't seen him in a minute.
Oh, man, you know as well as I know, good brother, man, and he supports anything we do, and man, I support anything he do, man, and it's just another opportunity because, Chef, I wanted to touch on this a little bit, man. We know with this transfer portal, man, it's tough for these kids, man. Like a lot of these kids have to go JUCO now, and some of these kids are not good enough to play JUCO D1 right now. So now you got to start talking about JUCO D2, JUCO D3, JUCO independent, or you may have to go to the military and get your weight up for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And then come back and go to school because now you're on the GI Bill and now you can go to school for free, which makes you even more attractive to a coach.
Exactly, man. And see, that's what this weekend was about, is the exposure, man, for these kids. Like, people saying, like, I was blessed to play at a high school that I played with some other high major guys. And I was a mid-major player myself. So I got recruited because of that, because we were all in the same gym when the coaches came. And I was just blessed, but if I stay at the high school before I transferred to Piney, I played at Piney Woods. So if I would have stayed at the high school that I was at first, I'd never make it.
Yeah.
I'm never, what I'm saying? Because nobody was coming out to that school to see the kids. So like for me, that's part of why we created this event, was because, man, this will be a tremendous opportunity. And then if you look at it location-wise, Dave, we are 3 hours from Memphis, 3 hours from New Orleans, 6 hours from Dallas, 5.5 from the A. Come on, man. How you can't make it here? At an airport, the gym was 20 minutes from the airport. You
20 minutes from the airport.
We had the hotel set up for you. The hotels got other hotels you can get. Like, come on, man. You can't miss on this event.
I mean, and you forgot one other place in you 2.5, 3 hours from New Orleans, right?
I was gonna say 3 hours from New Orleans.
Yeah. So I mean, you got a lot of nice basketball hotbeds that people don't know about, as well as good JUCOs in these areas from Florida to Georgia to Alabama. You know what I'm saying? All over the place, man. Jackson's 3 hours from Birmingham. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say it out loud on your podcast. I hope it goes viral. If you want that smoke, come on down here. I'll match you up real good. Come on down to our JUCO Jamboree down here in Mississippi. I'm gonna get you matched up real good, man. And it's gonna be great competition. You're gonna get challenged, and you'll go back home knowing what you got when you headed back to the house.
Hey man, listen. We both can say that those marquee matchups, man. Those marquee matchups, man. When we watch Wallace play Colin, man, man, that picture spoke volumes online, man.
Yep.
I mean, Colin's folks came out for that game, and a lot of people wanted to see what Wallace was about. And man, by the time they tipped off, man, it was standing room only, man. Standing room only. Man. And the quality of ball, and Colin came to play. Woo! They came. Look. We was looking at each other like, "Hey, man, hey, them boys came. They had something to prove." And,
hey, it was a chip on their shoulder, Dave. And again, you go back to, you said earlier, it felt like EYBL. So I coached in EYBL. When I woke up that morning, because I hadn't seen social media Saturday night at all, at all, period, because you were working. Dude, when I woke up Sunday morning, I saw that picture, and that's the first thing popped in my head was, wow, this thing is more packed than an EYBL session. And now that's what we're looking for now, to grow to be even bigger than that.
I mean, Yusef, you said something that it didn't even cross my mind. If you add the teams along with the fans that was in there, it was close to about 1,500 people in there.
Almost 2,000. For 2 days straight.
The crazy part, man, our heads was so down running back and forth, you didn't even get a chance to really sit back and enjoy it. Like, man, look at this. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like, exactly right, bro. And that's why I'm glad We had the people come through, man. Maul Monday came through. Maul's a
Shout
big
out to
support.
Maul.
Maul out of New Orleans. Maul does his events down there as well in Louisiana. And he also does events up here in Jackson at the NBA. So he and I went out Saturday night, and the first thing he said, Seth, man, you on to something, man. This is huge. This is huge. So man, I'm super appreciative of the city. We couldn't have done this without first saying thank you to the Lord. God looked out on us, man, and
Yes.
really helped us stand together for these kids. And man, it couldn't have went any better.
Man, I couldn't agree with you, man, because, leading up to this, man, if people only know them backdrops of them stories, man, I know I'd have lost some hair. Trust me.
and that's why we working right now for next year. We working now.
Man, who you telling?
If they don't get in, we cutting that thing off at a certain level, man. They better come on, sign up now.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man. I mean, because, man, I'm so excited, just coming back to Atlanta, that's all. I called you, was like, hey, man, I was like, we got to start on this, like, now.
Right now.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the goal is, I mean, yes, Jackson showed us love, but we don't want to make this just the premier event in Mississippi. We want this to be one of the premier events in the country. We want to be right up there with Jerry Mullen. We want to be up there with Scott Golden.
I'm gonna be honest with you, in the world, because we get them international teams too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
so I'm gonna reach out to some more of my international folks. There's some people over in Rwanda that wants to do a camp over here anyway. They come at the right time. We're gonna snap the event too, and they're gonna.
I want them NBA academies.
Yep.
I want them NBA academies. I want to see what OTU pull up.
Hey, don't let the cat out the bag yet. We good.
Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Okay.
Don't let all that out the bag right now, man.
Man, but I mean, Seth, in all honesty, man, like, it's the excitement of, I told you yesterday, I said, man, I was at work. I mean, I was there, but I wasn't there because, man, I'm looking at my phone like, man, this is crazy to pull this off like this, man. And, in the same time looking at my phone, I'm texting you like, ting, another one. People like, hey, man, that thing went off pretty good. And every team that was there was not one complaint about the event. There was not one complaint about the referee. Hey, man, shout out to the referees, man. Shout out.
Joe Redmond, man, and Lavelle Johnson, man, helped me put that group together, man. And they did a tremendous job the whole weekend, bro.
Yeah, man, when I start getting compliments on the referees, man, that's a rarity. That's an honest rarity. Seth, don't nobody compliment the referees. And,
I'm a referee basher. I bash. when I coach, I bash the ref, dude. Like, it's all the time. Like, it's love, hate for me and my referees, like, for sure.
Hey, man, I had to make sure I shout out the refs, man, because when I start getting texts talking about, yes, it was a well-ran event, quality opponents, and it was like, and well refereed, in all the events I've been to, I've yet to hear that. I hear, man, the refs is horrible, man. I ain't never coming back. You know what I mean? And yes, some of that is out of frustration because they might have lost on the call that wasn't called. But no, the referees were straight up. They said, we're going to let you play. We'll call the obvious, but this is a jamboree. You got to come to play.
Got to come to play, man. This is these games were called mid-major style.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And there was a bunch of major players in there. So now next year we're looking for these Division I coaches to get off in here even more. We had 30-plus coaches from the high major level back down to the low majors, including your NAIAs. You had D3s in there. Hopefully the NCAA will release those D2s next year.
Yeah.
And we can really turn out even more because we had a bunch of D2s that wish they could have come.
Hey, and shout out to the D3s that came, man. I be on the D3s heads because they always say, oh, I can't get none of those players. And I'm like, man, it's a different day, man. There are players for every level at these events, especially these jamborees. And I was like, y'all better come in here and eat. So
excuse me, Dave.
Say it again.
And that's true, man, because like I tell people, we got 33 schools in Mississippi, 2- and 4-year colleges. Mm-hmm. So, man, we You wasn't in the building this year. I bet you won't miss it next year.
No question, man. And when they start seeing the videos of what was going on, when those come out, man, I can't wait to see them myself.
Exactly, bro. Well,
And,
man, I appreciate it, bro. If anything, we on the line every day from here on out. You know what I'm saying? Making this bigger next year.
Oh yeah, no question about that. But I can almost guarantee you, by the time we get to September, that line gonna be hot this time. That line gonna be hot, and I'm looking forward to it because, man, we want to step this up, and like I said, we want to show value to these college coaches. They all showed us love and came, and they left impressed. But man, I'm like a soul food restaurant. I want to show some more good home cooking. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, bro, I got it. You hear the little ones in the background, bro. I need to get off this thing, man, so I can do a little homework.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Hey, man, listen, man, I appreciate you, man. And just wanted to jump on for a minute, man. We're going to take a little break and come back with Coach A. He's coming out of practice. So we'll jump back on. We'll jump off, and then we'll jump back on in a little bit. Brother, I just wanted to jump on and, just talk about this. And, man, like you said, Mississippi JUCO Jamboree is now one of the places to be for JUCO Jamborees. Believe that.
That's right, bro. Hit me when you get through with the podcast, bro.
Okay, definitely. Hey, we're going to end this show for right now. We'll jump back on in about 15, 20 minutes. You all have a good night. Take care. Oh, we're not going. We're going to stay right here. Here's Coach Alexander. I was just going to jump off, and we were going to take a quick little break, but Coach Alexander is right here. And like I said, man, I thank everybody from the JUCO Jamborees. Love y'all to death for coming. And, it was such an awesome experience. And, man, before I even go any further on that, man, I got one of my good buddies here, Coach Alexander from Clayton State. And I'm going to tell you all right now, before he even gets to talking, if you don't know about Clayton State, you will know about Clayton State this year. I promise you that. I got a chance to see them scrimmage, and boy, I'm going to say this one time. Please believe when you see Clayton State this year, that is a quality team. Coach A, how you doing today, brother?
David, I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain at all.
Oh, man, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Man, I've been raving about you, man. I've been telling people, hey, listen, you all haven't seen Clayton State yet, but when you see Clayton State, it's not the Clayton State you saw before, and it's going to be a whole new day because Coach A got his arsenal in there now, and they look totally different. And I don't like to scare people, but I gave just a little tease. I said, he's starting to look like them old USC, those USC days. And, when I say that, people are like, oh no. I was like, well, you better believe it. I say, because he got some folks that can play. And, man, I just wanted to touch on it before you started your schedule next week. I know you go to UIC up in Chicago and then down to Rice. How excited are you about the season this year, Coach?
I'm extremely excited. Coach Andre Anthony and I have worked, tirelessly to, bring in this group and try to, rebuild this program and change culture. And like you said, I think this could be the year. It's a special group. I said that from the time when we were blessed. I told Andre, I said, man, you got to think about this. We're really blessed to sign this class, after having a season that we had last year. A lot of people, would have written us off and said, I'm not going there. But we got some tough kids, some high character kids that said, you know what, Coach, I'm going to ride with you. And, they did just that. So we're excited, Dave. We're very excited. And we're looking forward to getting rolling here.
Listen, I'm excited. I'll be at the game in Houston when you guys play Rice. And look, I'm going to be right there at the media table like, oh, I can't wait to see this. And, it's just one of those things, with you being the coach that you are, people don't a lot of times give you the respect that's due to you, man. They don't know how good of a coach you are. And like, even, with you being at Clayton State, people don't know what you're doing for that whole program. And I fully believe after this year, look, there's going to be a buzz about Clayton State after this year. And it's not going to be just me talking about it. It's going to be a lot more people like, hey, man, they can play. Because some of the guys you got, some of these transfers, man.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, the only question that I had is, boy, you so deep. I was like, I want to see who the starters are going to
be. Dre and I talk about it all the time. I tell him, I said, hey, look, you're going to have a hard time trying to figure out who to sub in the game, man. You better try to figure it out. You have a hard time picking a starting five with this group. It's like I said, Dave, and you've said it, and I echo that. This can be special. This can be special. This could be that group that do some of the things we did when we were at Aiken.
Mm-hmm.
And we're obviously, we've gone through it. They say we need to learn how to lose. Well, we learned how to lose, so now we need to enjoy some winning.
Listen, I mean, you guys are long, you're athletic, and I know you always want. You even told me last year, you need to get the right players in here to play your style. And when I watched that scrimmage, I was like, oh. I said, man. I said, and you got some height, and like I said, they're long with what you're doing in that up-tempo style. I said, oof. I said, I can see a number of games in the 90s. Definitely, I can see a number of games like that.
That's what we're hoping, Dave.
We're
hoping to play in the 90s and hold our opponents a lot less.
Coach A, and man, I wanted to have a discussion with you real quick because I said something after I saw that scrimmage, and people don't understand. You're going to understand what I'm saying. I said, after watching Clayton State, I said, there's only a handful of high school players that can come in right now and be productive. And people are like, oh, I can't believe you just said that. I said, man, listen, I said, I would bet money there's only a handful of guys that could come in here and be productive. I didn't say he couldn't get a couple minutes, but I said be productive where they're averaging 5 to 10 points a game. I said, there's not too many high school kids that can do that. I said, honestly, there's not that many high school kids that can play on Clayton State's team. And that people don't understand that. I get so many guys that say, hey, he can go to Clayton State. He's a starter from day one. And I'm like, man, no, that's so not the case, man. You have no idea. I was like, Coach A is getting D1 drop downs. He's getting JUCO guys. I was like, these are older guys. And, when I hear people say that, I'm like, they have no idea. So to, diffuse the situation, I always ask, have you been to a practice? No. And then how can you say that? You have no idea what he has down there. And, like you said, they go off of records. And, with them going off of records, they still have no idea that those kids can't play there until they go to the elite camp and see what it is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it would be very – and that's not you're not putting anybody down, and I'm not putting anybody down. Mm-hmm. It would be very difficult for a high school kid to come in here and get quality minutes right away.
Correct.
I mean, we have some extremely talented kids. I mean, our high school kids are, we have 2 freshmen that are young and they're pretty good players. Kenneth Brayboy was on Eagles Landing's, on that team. Mm-hmm. And then we have Elijah Dace, who came from Goose Creek, which is a traditionally strong program in South Carolina. Yeah. And both of those guys are going to have to scrap, to get 4 minutes a game, 3 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. And they may get that, but that's because of the way we play and how fast and how we pressure up a little bit more than what we've been able to do here. But it would be difficult for a high school kid to come in here and play. And like you said, they just have to come to a practice and come see us play this year. Come watch us play. You'll see why you have that statement and why you're saying what you're saying.
And one of the other things where that makes your program a quality program is you guys develop. Because what you guys have done with Deuce came in as a freshman, you redshirted him, you developed him, and now he's turning into a very main cog for Clayton State now. And to see the improvement of him from when he first got there to now, oh man, I mean, I can speak that myself.
Yeah, you've been around enough to see that transformation. I think, all development is, one of the best in the country. I'll say at any level, college level, it's one of the best in the country. And Coach, Andre Anthony leads that, and
Yes.
He does a phenomenal job, of making sure our guys are prepared to play at the highest level. Deuce has, I mean, people won't believe. I mean, hey, in our scrimmage against Young Harris, Deuce missed one shot from the field goal. I mean, he was 3 for 3 from the 3. And here's a kid that came in that was athletic, couldn't shoot, very thin. Now he's a high level defender and a 3-level scorer.
Yeah.
So that is a credit to the development that we do with our kids and trying to get them prepared and get them ready. And he was certainly one we invested in. We knew that we were investing, and we knew that it would pay great dividends. It's like you go out and buy that stock and you say, I'm gonna sit on it just for a little bit. It may not look good right now, but give it a year. That stock's gonna grow and it's gonna look really, really nice, and you're gonna be glad you made that investment.
Absolutely.
And that's been the case with Deuce Harper. He is one of the best players, and I've been in the Peach Belt. I've been in, I was gone for 7 years or however long, but I was in this league when it was a really tough league, and he is one of the best in the Peach Belt right now. He's one of the top players in the Peach Belt.
And not to just mention Deuce, your other guy that you redshirted, Baki. Baki got quality time last year, and he's improved tremendously. Like I tell people, I saw Baki as a senior at South Cobb, and to see where Baki's at from a senior to now, another testament to what you guys are doing. And it's huge. It's huge. And, I always tell people you have to find a place that has the right fit, because a lot of programs, they don't have development. They expect you to be plug and play. And if you're not plug and play, you lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you're right. Baki Lecky, wow. I mean, when I think about him and Deuce and Dave, you've been around long enough to see it. When I think about those guys as freshmen, I'm like, and look at him now. Baki came in, couldn't shoot, couldn't handle. The kid can flat out shoot it now. He handles well. He defends. Rebounds. I'm extremely blessed. We're extremely blessed. Those guys hung in there. They went through tough times, but you know what? They hung in there and they believed in us, and we believed in them. And God willing, they're about to see some great things.
Oh, definitely. And to come in with the newcomers, Ty Shirley for one, and the South Alabama transfer. That's huge. I mean, you had, man, like when you look up and down that roster, for the people in Atlanta that know what you have, they're gonna be like, oh man, wait a minute, what's really going on here? And just looking at that length that you had, and that athleticism, man, I was like, look, I was sitting there like, boy, I said, I can't wait to broadcast these games this year, because I said it's going to be a whole new day this year. And, it's just, man, it's such a testament to the job you're doing down there, because, a lot of people like to say, oh, little old Clayton State. Well, it's not going to be the case this year. Definitely not going to be the case.
Yeah, I am. I mean, we have some amazing transfers, like you mentioned, Todd Shirley. I mean, that kid, oh, man. This kid's we're blessed, Dave.
Yes.
We're blessed.
Yes.
I mean, that kid is high character, very versatile player. I mean, this kid can shoot lights out. He plays 1 through 5 for us. 1 through 5.
Jeez.
6'8", 1 through 5. He can post. He can definitely shoot it. I want to say he was 3 for 4 in the scrimmage against Young Harris from the 3.
Mm-hmm.
He was 3 for 4. He is a very, very, very good player, and they're gonna struggle with him in this league because he is so diverse and multidimensional. He can do so many things, man. We're blessed to have him.
And on top of Ty Shirley, you got Jamal Kleiss, another Atlanta product from Georgia State transfer. I mean, he's going to be in there getting quality minutes as well. And, a lot of people, don't know how good Jamal Kleiss really is.
They will see. They will see, because that kid, he's the heart of our team right now. That kid, man. I mean, you said you were there at the scrimmage. His emotion, his toughness. I mean, his drive to lead his team to win. I mean, the kid, he can play, man. And I'm just, like I said, I'm really blessed to have him. They have Ty Shirley, and they both Pebblebrook guys, Atlanta guys.
Yeah.
And they're very passionate, and what's so
You're muted, Coach. I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. I can't. No, I can't hear you yet. No, I can't hear you. No. Coach, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Coach A is going to log out and log back in. He'll be right back momentarily.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you.
That was almost a disaster, and Andre's not here to save me. Andre ain't here to go, Coach, I got it. I'm like, man, I don't know what to do here. So I just sort of remember some of the things he does. So like, okay, let me try that.
But Coach, no, I mean, like you said, the Pebblebrook kids down to TJ Stargell. But what I don't want to forget is the returners that you have as well. The Christian Chambers. We already talked about Deuce and Bakke. Christian Chambers, Wes, Big Wes, he's another heart and soul of that team. He's been there for a while. The 6'9" shooter.
Yeah. He had a bad year last year, and he knows that, but he's used that bad year to fuel him this year. He is playing harder than I've ever seen him play in all the years that I've had him. He's defending. He's rebounding. I mean, he's rebounding and he's shooting lights out. So I'm excited. I said it once and I'll say it twice and I'll say it again. I'm really, really blessed. And I think this team, it can be special, very special. When I say special, they can be very special. They can do things that a lot of teams haven't done because of our depth and our length and our ability to score the ball. And we can score in a lot of ways. I mean, you got a chance to see the 7-footer and Mohamed.
Yes, I did.
Diallo.
Uh-huh.
That kid he's special. And he's not a. I mean, he's athletic, can shoot the three. Block shots. I mean, it's shaping up really nice. I'm excited.
I'm definitely excited as well because I'll make a bold prediction. I expect to see you guys in the first or second round of the tournament. If you guys do well in the Peach Belt, I'm expecting to see you guys in the tournament this year. But what I saw, and I don't want to just say that because I'm tied to you guys, but I'm saying that off of just being able to get to evaluate a number of teams. And let's not get it twisted. The Peach Belt is one of the toughest D2 conferences in the country. So by no means am I saying this is a walk in the park. Augusta just beat Georgia Southern the other day. So, we know Augusta's always going to be there. North Georgia will be good. You guys will be good. With North Georgia, they got a nice, solid nucleus. It'll be interesting to see what Georgia Southwestern does as well. It'd be interesting to see what Flagler does as well. And, like I said, the Peach Belt, night in and night out, you just can't come and say, oh, somebody's going to lay down. That's not how it goes in the Peach Belt.
It's not the case.
Yeah, and that's a testament because the Peach Belt usually gets 2 or 3 teams in the D2 tournament. Just like the PSAC, and you're familiar with the PSAC as well. When you have those quality leagues like that, they're going to get a couple people invited to the tournament. And I'm looking at this like this may be the year that Clayton State is one of those 2, 3, or 4. And of course, I can't forget about Columbus State. Columbus State always does a good job as well with Coach Robert down there.
Those guys, he does a really nice job, and he'll have them ready to compete this year. The league is tough, as you said. The great thing about it is I know I've been in this league. We've had a lot of success in this league. Andre with me as a player, me as a coach, we've had a lot of success in this league. And so we believe we have a recipe that will help us get back to the top. And I think we're mixing that recipe in right now.
Absolutely. Before we go any further, I definitely wanted to announce the special announcement because, man, number one, I wanted to thank you for this, and it's an honor to do this as well. Listeners, for the Hoops Hitting Gems podcast, I'd like to announce that I will be doing the Coach A coaches show for Clayton State starting next month. And man, I thank you so much for the honor to be able to do this show. We'll be talking about Clayton State basketball. We'll be talking about the games. We'll be talking about a lot of subjects, Clayton State. And, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be the first show in the Peach Belt to have a coaches show.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you're thanking me, and I just want to thank you. And, we've become close friends, and you've helped me in a lot of ways because you're brutally honest, and that's what helps. And Andre, connected us, that Pittsburgh connection. And,
yes, sir.
And I'm just excited to be a part of it. I'm truly excited. Looking forward to it, and we certainly hope to gain a lot of support and people come tune in, check us out. Because Dave, you guys know, is very knowledgeable. He's on point. He travels all around the country doing this. So I think it's going to be a very, very nice thing, and I'm certainly blessed and truly honored to be a part of it.
We're honored to have you, be a part of this, and and it's a help for the Peach Belt, being the first to be a trailblazer to have a coaches show, because we want Clayton State to be looked at not just as a D2 program. Like, we want Clayton State to have all the bells and whistles that D1s have as well. And this is one of the things I thought could add value to as well. And like I said, the excitement of what you got going on for this year, I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this. Like I said, the broadcast, from broadcasting the games to the coaches show, And you got media night. What is it? Thursday night?
The Laker Madness is Thursday.
Yes. Laker
Madness
Madness
is
is
this
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
This
Thursday.
Thursday at 7:00.
7 o'clock. You
Yeah.
know, and that's going to be another event. I mean, last year was my first year to make Laker Madness, and man, you had a great turnout for a Laker Madness last year. And so it's going to be at the Lock as usual. And you know, I also wanted, you know, it wouldn't be fair for us not to give a shout out to the girls because you know, Coach does an amazing job on the women's side as well. And they're going to be competitive. They're going to have a bunch of new faces, just like
got a bunch
you
of
as
new
well.
faces, but they're going to be competitive and they're going to be tough. And you know, Coach Kalina Coleman, you know, my friend, she does a wonderful job. Her and Brittany,
Yes,
they do a great job. They get those girls to play hard, man. Them to play hard, and I always look forward to, you know, watching them and supporting them. Such a great group to work with and partner with, as we both seek, you know, to take these Lakers to national prominence.
absolutely, absolutely. And Coach, you know, one of the things I wanted to ask you, you know, as we talk about this, you know, I get so many people that ask, you know, how can I get my kid noticed, you know, whether it's a D1, a D2, or D3? What would be your answer to that? Because I get asked it all the time, and I'm going to clip this and let people know because, you know, yeah, they'll hear me, but when it comes from a coach, it seems like to hold a little bit more water to it.
To clarify, David, you're saying to play a kid that's at this level playing?
Yes, that they're from a high school level and they're trying to make it to a D2 level because a lot of times, you know, they have no idea how tough it is, you know, to play at the D2 level. But what makes them attractive in your eyes, especially a high school kid, because it's already tough as is?
A high school kid, to me, you know, we always look for a kid that is a workaholic, one that is a gym rat. You hear, oh, I'm a gym rat, but what are you doing in the gym? Are you really in that gym conditioning? Are you just in the gym, you know, dribbling and pulling up deep shots? You know, are you really working on your handle? Are you really working on various moves, you know, counter moves? Are you putting up thousands of shots, you know? Because like we started in this and when we first started talking, it's very difficult. They'll think that it's easy. And we'll get a high school kid come in and work out and they'll go, wow, wow, wow. No, you guys are tough. Had a couple of coaches last spring, you know, brings some players over, including, you know, Chuck Persons. He brought some kids over and Chuck Persons left the gym. He's like, man, you guys are a lot more talented than what I thought. You know,
everybody
that was with all returners, you know, with Deuce and Baki and those guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, TJ Stargell, a kid that we're bringing in that's he's hurt right now. He didn't even play in the scrimmage, and you know, he's really good. You know, and then we had another young man that didn't play, you know, Aaron Pitts, who's really good. Second leading scorer in JUCO basketball in Georgia. Neither one of those guys played the other night. But we look for these kids to that put in work, and they're in the weight room as well. And then it's not about, you know, just scoring tons of points to make us look at you. It's about how productive you are for your team. You know, are you coachable? You know, are you doing those things that you need to do in the classroom? You know, are you just, you know, out for yourself? You know, and then, you know, come to workouts. You know, come to workouts. You know, get in elite camp. Go to elite camp. Because you'll see some things when you go to elite camp. You'll see, you know, what kind of talent we have or other schools have. You know, go work out in the spring. You know. Come in and hoop with all guys, you know, and I think that's a good way to get noticed. You know, and the main way is, you know, send out some information, send send some videos out. Let us look at those, and then we'll come take a look at you. And we like what we see, then we invite you to campus to
Absolutely.
come work out with the team.
Definitely. Coach, I know your time is pressed because I know you're gearing up. When are you guys leaving for Chicago?
Monday.
Leaving Monday. Okay. You play Tuesday, right?
Play Tuesday.
And then you're leaving Wednesday to play Thursday in Houston, right?
Yeah, fly out to Houston Wednesday and play Thursday at Rice.
Okay.
And then, back, and then time to grind it out.
Yeah, it's time for the season. The 8th, right, is the first game, correct?
No, it's actually we played the 11th.
The 11th, okay.
11th.
Okay.
10th and 11th is opening weekend, but we play the 11th and 12th. We play at Anderson in a classic. We'll be playing Emmanuel and Anderson.
Okay.
The 11th and 12th.
Okay. And you got some of the good games coming. You got Clark here as well.
Miles, Clark, and Morehouse.
Yes, and Morehouse. Miles and Morehouse. I honestly expect, and those are all at Clayton State, right? Those games, people, you're going to need to get there early for those games because I expect those games to be jam-packed for those games.
It'll probably be jam-packed in there.
Mm-hmm. I have my seat. That's all I know. I have my seat.
You got courtside, so
yes, sir. And I'm gonna keep that courtside seat. Trust me, they take that. I'm gonna have to call security on them. But Coach,
we're not gonna let them do that.
Oh, now, Coach, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about Clayton State. Man, as you already know, man, I'm so excited to see what they're doing this year. And, to be able to help in any type of way I can. And, like I said, we'll be announcing the date for the Clayton State, coaches show with Coach Alexander. I can't wait for that. And, it'll be pre-recorded. So just to let everybody know, it'll be pre-recorded. It won't be live because that'll be able to fit everybody's schedule in. So you'll be able to see it on YouTube, Twitter. You'll also be able to see it on the Peach Belt Network. We're working that out as well for it to be posted on the Peach Belt Network. So you'll be able to see it on their website as well. So, Coach, again, man, thank you so much. I appreciate everything you've done. And, man, let's go make it happen this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate it, man.
Definitely. So, like I said, we'll be talking on a regular basis starting next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking forward to seeing you.
Oh, definitely. And you take care. And like I said, we'll announce online, the pre-recorded dates for the show. We'll work out our schedule. And, like I said, I'm excited, man. I'm like a kid at the candy store.
We're both excited. We're looking forward to it. And, we'll look forward to seeing you in Houston.
Definitely. Well, Coach, you take care. We'll wrap up this show, and I'll see you real soon, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
All right. You take care.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Coach Alexander, man, that's my guy. A lot of times after practice, sometimes I can sit there and just talk in his office with me, him, and Coach Anthony and just chopping it up. A lot of times we're talking basketball. Sometimes we're talking life. We're talking family stuff. We're talking a whole bunch of things. And a lot of times when you meet people like that, it's more than just a friendship. It's like family a lot of times. And, you care about that person, and it's more than just basketball. You want to see somebody do good, but you also care about that person as an individual as well. Listen, that'll wrap it up for tonight, man. Thank you to the guests. Thank you, Coach Alexander. Thank you, Coach Fitzgerald. Both guys mean a lot to me for, from being able to run the Mississippi JUCO Jamboree with Coach Fitzgerald to Coach Alexander, and we'll be doing the coaches show together. I'm excited for Clayton State to be the first school in the Peach Belt to have a coaches show. And we're going to keep doing this thing. And, we're going to make Clayton State one of the mainstays, not in just Atlanta, but amongst the Peach Belt and D2. And I can't wait to see that. That'll do it for tonight's show, man. Thank you guys as usual. I know NBA starts tonight, so I know you guys probably got one eye on me and another on the TV. That's fine. I appreciate you guys as usual for jumping in and listening to the show. We'll be back on probably next Tuesday. We usually go Mondays, but when I came back from Jackson, I needed a day break. So we'll probably go next Tuesday before I head out to Houston for the Clayton State Rice game. Thank you guys, as usual, from the bottom of my heart. Tune in next week. We're going to have another great show as usual. You guys take care and have a good night.